Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin from Florals.com and Happy New Year. I hope you guys are excited for today's video because you'll be learning a little bit more about me thanks to the Mini Kit Monday group for inviting everyone to do this tag. This is just called the 20 Questions for 2020 YouTube tag. And I'm also really excited because I am a guest designer for Mini Kit Monday in the month of January. So I'll be working with them all January long to bring you guys some really fun stuff. But this is open to anyone, so if you guys want to join in after the fact, definitely do so. Head over to the Facebook group and check out the questions. I'll have the Facebook group linked down below. The first question is introduction, who you are, family, where you live, etc. So my name is Caitlin. I live on the Space Coast of Florida near Cocoa Beach, and I've only been here for a bit now, less than a year we've been here, so not too crazy, but we moved here from Central New York. And before that, I lived in Maryland, and then before that, I was in school back in Central New York. So I've been all over the place the last few years. Number two, what motivates you to scrapbook? So I guess a lot of things do. I usually do it for the creative aspect for it. I'm a very creative person. I like all sorts of forms of creativity, whether it be writing or photography or digital design. I mostly do it for that. I don't necessarily do it for anyone else besides myself. I don't have kids, I'm not married. I do tell stories of my family. It's probably just for me. I'm a very nostalgic person. I like looking back at memories, so I think it's really just a selfish hobby for myself. What type of scrapbooking do you do? 12 by 12, 8.5 by 11, etc. I mostly do 12 by 12. I've been starting to incorporate pocket pages into my scrapbooks and also like inserts. So I'll do some of those random pocket page sizes. I've done a couple 6 by 8 albums now, and I really enjoyed those. And I'm hoping to dabble into traveler's notebooks this year. We shall see. It's hard for me to pick where to put certain stories because I feel like if I put them in a traveler's notebook, will I remember to go there to look at them versus a 12 by 12, which, you know, that's what my staple size is as right now. Number four is, do you plan your pages? I would say I don't plan my pages except when it comes to travel albums. I made a few. Currently my Disney album that I'm working on is a little bit more planned out. I have supplies in each photo protector or page protector that goes with each photo. For, you know, a chunk of my photos, not all of them. So I have planned a couple things out in that way, but for the most part I sit down, I grab supplies, and I grab a photo that goes with it, and I scrapbook. Number five, how do you file your scrapbook pages? Mine go in albums, 12 by 12 wise, go in their albums for each year. I haven't exceeded a year yet, but I also have probably close to, actually at least 150 layouts not put away. Which is sad, but I have moved basically 3 times in the last 2 years. So it's been quite hectic, and they're in boxes, so it's not like they're all over the place. They're all in a certain spot. I just haven't had the chance to file them away. Most of them are missing dates, most of them missing journaling. But within the yearly album, they're not in order by any means. Some of my albums I'm pretty good about order, you know, at least getting it in the right season, whether it be spring, you know, winter, spring, and then fall and winter again. So I kind of try to get them in there in some sort of order, but I do not scrapbook chronologically, so they don't get filed chronologically. What is your favorite scrapbooking topic? Everyday, kids, travel. I 100% love travel pages more than anything. I think they excite me the most, but lately I've been doing a lot of my pets photos, and then soon in 2020 I'll be doing a ton of Disney pages, which also excite me. I've just been putting off that album for a while, so it's about time I dived back into that, and those kind of go with travel as well. And I don't have children, so I'm not scrapbooking any children photos. And everyday photos, I scrapbook those. I mean, I consider my pet photos to be everyday photos, so yeah, I do everyday and pretty much travel. I think those are the main 2 topics. I don't have a ton of other stuff I scrapbook. I've been getting a little bit into gift scrapbooking, so I'll take photos from a shared event. So when my brother and I graduated, I made him a graduation thing. So I scrapbook for other people as well on occasion for gifts, birthdays, Christmas, that kind of thing. Number 7, how do you find time to scrapbook? Do you scrapbook every day? Do you have to give something up to scrapbook, like forego house cleaning to scrap instead? I do not scrapbook every day. I used to try to scrapbook every day. In 2020, I think it'll be quite a bit different because I want to also get back into some of my other hobbies, like painting. I used to love acrylic painting, and I want to get back into learning watercolor painting. So my craft desk is going to serve a lot more purposes in 2020, but I say I scrapbook at least twice a week, mainly because I put up at least 2 scrapbooking related videos a week. So that kind of motivates me to get in here. And since I travel for work, I don't often get to, sit down sometimes, so sometimes I have to film ahead. So sometimes I am in here every single day of a week. How do you find time to scrapbook? I usually scrapbook after work or before work in the mornings. I'm a early bird more so than a late night owl. I know a lot of scrapbookers happen to be late night owls, but I am an early bird, so I'd rather get up early, go in my craft room, peace and quiet in the entire apartment, and scrap the day away until I have to go, do adulting. Let's see, do I have to give something up to scrapbook? Yeah, I definitely substituted different hobbies. So instead of card making, I transitioned into full scrapbooking pretty much for a little while now. I do the occasional card, but I used to be way more into card making and also painting, and I used to do a ton more other crafts, DIYs and all of that. I've stopped doing those, mainly because I didn't need DIY things anymore. I did some DIY videos and DIY blog posts for home decor and decorations, and those are fun, but I really don't need decorations, and they don't motivate me as much as scrapbooking does anymore, because I find scrapbooking serves a long-term purpose, whereas a decoration might not last a couple years. So I guess I give up other hobbies to do it, but I don't have to. I'm pretty good at managing, household chores versus scrapbooking. I think, maybe not, but also I only have to clean up like after myself and my cat, so nothing too crazy. Number 8 is, where do you shop for supplies? I shop for supplies all over. I wish I could shop at a local scrapbook store, but I don't really have one near me right now. I know there's a few that I need to travel to since we're new to the area. I know there's at least one south. I can't remember where it is. Maybe Port St. Lucie. I think there's one down there that I need to go check out. But I usually shop online for designer things. I'm a huge fan of Pink Fresh Studio. I like to support a lot of different small shops whenever I can. However, I find that I end up at Michael's and Joann's, mostly Michael's more often than Joann's, because that happens to be the closest crafting store here. I don't often get to Hobby Lobby anymore because whenever we seem to go out, it's usually a Sunday, and they're closed on Sundays. But as for online, again, I shop at so many different places. I guess for Black Friday, I did Pink Fresh Studio, Scrap and Happy Studio, Spiegel Mom Scraps. I checked out Shimmer Paints, but then ended up going through Spiegel Mom Scraps to get my Shimmers paints. I've shopped through Paper Issues before, cheapscrapbookstuff.com. I could literally list hundreds, and I actually have a blog post that I try to keep up over on my blog, and it's just crafty sales, and I try to update that at least once a week with the latest sales that are going on, so you guys can pick up on those and enjoy some wonderful supplies at a lower rate. And again, those are focusing on those smaller shops online, whether it be scrapbook.com or Spiegel Mom Scraps. They all seem to begin with S's, don't they? But I shop at so many different places. Number 9 is, did you get any crafty supplies for Christmas this year? I got a ton of crafty supplies for Christmas this year. I don't actually have any of them in my craft room right now. They're actually all still out by the Christmas tree because I haven't put them away yet. But I'll have my Vlogmas link down below because I did vlog Christmas Day and I posted that, so you guys can check that out so you can see my reaction to unwrapping them. But some of my bigger gifts were a new cutting mat. I got a Fiskars cutting mat for my table. I got the fuse tool from We Are Memory Keepers, and I got a bunch of stamps and dies from Sam. He got me some wonderful, wonderful things. Number 10 is, what 3 scrappy items / products can you not go without? Now, when I read this question, I thought I could go really generic and just, get everything that I ever wanted. But if I had to be more specific, I would say pattern paper, because I always do pattern paper backgrounds whenever I can. Washi tape, I use washi tape on every one of my layouts practically, and stickers. Now, if I had to pick a type of sticker, which again, that kind of cheats a little bit, I would say flat stickers, because I can always add foam or something underneath it. But 3 things is really hard to narrow down. I love chipboard, I love ink, I love it all, I really do. Number 11, is there a product you will buy despite the expense? No, there's not. I'm a very frugal crafter. I would forego a deal any day if it was, something that I really wanted. I honestly can't think of something I've paid full price for, other than a couple times I've gone to those scrapbooking expos. I went to one in New York when I lived back there. It was a smaller one. It's not the big Stamp and Scrap Expo. It's not the big one. But I bought a couple things full price there, which were still on the cheaper side. I don't buy like the big die sets, the big stamp sets. I just don't find that it is worth it to me. I might love something, but I won't love it forever, and I don't know, I don't think I've ever paid full price for anything except my trimmer blades or, you know, a trimmer maybe. I don't think so. I usually have a coupon. I'm a big on couponing. So number 12 is, how do you feel about sketches? What is your favorite resource to find sketches? I'm hit or miss with sketches. I use them in challenges all the time. I find they're very hard for me to follow because if I find an idea while I'm scrapbooking, I tend to go with that idea instead of sticking with the sketches idea. But they're a great starting point. And as far as favorite resource to find sketches, I just go online. I have a couple printed out from various resources. I know Scrapbook Generations is a great one. I make my own sketches for my patrons over on Patreon. I think we're up to 50 sketches over there for the printables that I do every month. So I do make my own sketches. I think it's fun to come up with the designs, and I think it's hard for me to want to use a design unless I have a sketch at the start, which is hard for me to do, is to really stick with it because it's almost challenging to not try to break the rules for me. It's like a challenge to go beyond the sketch, to do something else, but they're great starting points. And again, I've done a couple challenges that I've shown the sketches here on YouTube and kind of stuck with them. At least they're a really great source of inspiration to start with. 13, if traveling, do you take crafty projects with you? So I actually travel a lot for work, usually at least once a month. So I used to take stamped images to color with me, and that was as far as I'd go in terms of crafty things on work trips. But I realized it's kind of a hassle because, one, the lighting in hotel rooms is not great, and it's hard to color during the nighttime without great lighting. So I really haven't been bringing them. I have another work trip coming up where I might take them again, only because I want to start making some more cards, and by coloring images I can then make more cards. But it's hard to lug around stuff, especially if you know you're going to be there. In terms of personal vacations and traveling, I don't take anything usually. If anything, what I consider my creative outlet on those sort of vacations would be like my bullet journal or my planner, if I have that with me. But I also find creative outlets in terms of photography. I really love taking photos, and that's kind of what I focus on during those kind of vacations. Let's see, number 14, we're almost done, guys. Where do you stand on purging craft supplies? I have a giant box to the right of me that I am purging. I love purging supplies. I think it's really therapeutic, especially when I know they're going to go to a different, like a good place. I either take stuff that I haven't used and put that in my giveaway pile. I actually asked subscribers once if they wouldn't mind getting gently used items, so like maybe a used stamp set or something in a giveaway, because I could donate them to a school, but I also know that if it's a high quality product and a great brand, maybe I should donate that to another crafter. So I send things to my crafty friends, I do giveaways, and I purge lesser quality things. So like if I bought cardstock that ended up being really thin, I might donate that to a school or a Girl Scout troop. But I highly believe in purging. I purge clothes, I purge household things, and I purge scrapbooking supplies and craft supplies in general because I honestly have too much. And some of my goals are focused around not having as much, so I do believe in purging, and I think it's great for some people and not for others, because I obviously know that some people are in different situations where they might not have the flexibility to go buy things to replace if they did get rid of them. So it's a really personal topic, but I do believe in purging, and it could work well for some people and motivating them to get back into crafting. What other interests do you have outside of scrapbooking? So I kind of already answered this. I really want to get back into painting, and I want to get back into card making and doing more gift albums for my friends and family. But other than that, I do a lot of digital work, so I like doing digital design, and I actually got a drawing tab for Christmas, so I now have a drawing tablet so I can use the pen and draw all the fun things. So I'll be getting more into digital design and print work like that. But other than that, I really love video games. I love watching YouTube. The list goes on and on. I do a lot of typical my age person things, I guess. 16 is, why did you start your YouTube channel? This is a great question that I wish I could answer, but you'd have to ask me 10 years ago. I started my YouTube channel when I was in middle school in 2009. So yes, I have been on YouTube for a decade, and it is scary. But I think that I started it because back in the day, everyone used to have different types of groups. This was before Facebook groups. This was like when there were Yahoo groups and Ning groups and all sorts of different online sites where you could find scrapbookers, and like Split Coast, the forums, the online forums, like Two Peas in a Bucket. Everyone was like posting pictures of their things. And then I don't know how I found YouTube. I don't know how I got, crafty friends on YouTube, but it was a thing to, send happy mail to people. So I did that for a while. And, you'd open it on a camera, so you'd be facing down, but you'd open it on a camera, and that would sort of be like video replying. So that's kind of why I started. I did hauls on YouTube. I did tutorials on YouTube. I think one of my highest watched videos is really, really old, but it's like a glimmer mist tutorial. So if you guys remember glimmer mist, what I would do was I would emboss a piece of cardstock and then put glimmer mist on it and then heat emboss it so it'd move around differently around the embossing. Anyway, lots of old videos on my channel, really embarrassing, and you can tell how young I am in them, but they're all still up there. And I guess I just started because I thought it was a fun way to interact with the community and to teach new things, and really share, because that's what these videos are, they're sharing. 17 is, do you watch scrappy YouTube videos? How much time do you think you spend watching YouTube? So these is kind of two different stats here. So do you watch scrappy YouTube videos? Yes, of course I watch way too many. I try to watch as many as I can. I have a ton of online crafty friends, and there's a ton of online crafty YouTubers who are all very great. And besides scrapbooking, I watch card making, I watch all sorts of crafting videos, DIYs, painting, all of them. I actually did a video during Vlogmas where I did I went through my subscription box and shared with you guys people that I'm following currently and who's been uploading, and definitely people to check out. And the second question is, how much time do you spend watching YouTube? Honestly, hours and hours and hours every week. I put it on if I'm doing anything. I could be typing on my computer and there'll be a YouTube video on. I watch it on my phone all the time. If it's not YouTube, it's a podcast. If it's not YouTube or a podcast, it's the TV's on with YouTube on it, or a TV show. I'm very much a visual media person, and I like having visuals on all the time. And, sometimes you can't have a visual, so you go for a podcast instead. But I'm always consuming content, and I think that's just a factor of my generation, that I'm able to multitask on that kind of level, where I can have a video on and get the gist of it while also doing, writing down something completely different. It's a bad habit, but also a good habit, because I feel like I'm learning, but not necessarily taking up all my time. But way too much time. It's honestly too much. 18, do you prefer to watch longer videos or shorter videos? It depends on my attention span, and this goes with watching TV or movies as well. Because I'll be able to tell Sam that I don't have the attention span for a movie, because I'll just sit on my phone and go do a bazillion other things, because I just don't have the attention span to watch something that's long format. So it really depends. Sometimes I watch long videos while I'm scrapbooking, like Janet at RTS, or Nicole Jones, or Heather Balazar does some really great long videos. Those tend to be videos that I do while I'm marking, so I don't have to go and pick out another one as often. Whereas if I'm intentionally sitting down to watch something on YouTube, it has to be something shorter. And shorter just has to mean like under 15 minutes, which is still a pretty long video, but if there are lulls in the conversation, or if I find it's going a little too slow, I'll just speed it up a little bit or skip ahead, which I think is personally fine. Everyone has their different preferences, so I don't blame if people skip ahead. Then number 19, do you use your scrappy skills and stash to make gifts for loved ones? I also answered this one. Yes, I do. I've made a few mini albums now as gifts. I've made cards for birthdays and for holidays. And yeah, I guess I do. I've also made a couple DIY projects as gifts, but not as much, because I'm not as well crafted in those. Last one, 20. Do you have any crafty goals for the new year? Yes, I have so many crafty goals. But my biggest one is to finish my 2016 Disney album, which has been in the making for a few years now. It's just another album I want to get done, but I made a whole video about my crafty goals already, which you can check out, and I have a whole playlist called 2020 Creative Reset, where I'm bringing you guys along, where I go through how I make my goals and how I'm setting my plans for my goals, and how you can too to really have a successful 2020 in terms of the crafty space. So you guys can check out all of those links down below. Thank you guys so much from Make It Monday Challenge group for making this tag and sharing it with me and everyone else in the group. I can't wait to watch the rest of these, and definitely check it out. Just search the title of this video in the YouTube search and you'll be able to find more of them. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning more about me, and I hope you guys have a fantastic 2020, and I will see you guys again for another video very soon. Bye guys!